Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to take apart the intake manifold and then the air box, take all of that stuff out. I opened the hood of this car a few days ago because I had it outside sitting in the cold. And something decided to make a huge nest all over the engine bay, so I just want to take everything apart and make sure that they didn't get anywhere or leave any leaves or nuts anywhere. I think it was a squirrel because it was mostly leaves and bigger things. It didn't look like a mouse nest. Unfortunately, they did start to eat away at my hood liner. The joys of living in the Northeast in the wintertime. You can't have nothing nice. So first I'm going to start with removing the air box, take out these screws, take this elbow out, disconnect the mass airflow sensor, and then we'll go from there. Nothing in there, that's a good start. Nothing underneath the filter. And yes, I just use a bone stock frame filter for my M3. My dyno tuned catless M3. Nothing in there either. I don't think this is necessary to remove the intake manifold. I can't quite remember, but I am going to take out the rest of the airbox as well, just to kind of give myself more room. I'm going to remove the 4 push pins here on this front cowl. I'm going to pull that out. I'm not sure if this is the factory style one or not, but this is what I have in there. And I just had a bunch of these laying around, so that's what I use and they fit. I think this is what they came with, but if they don't, just remove yours however you need to. I'm just going to put them all in this bag so I don't lose them. I should just pull off like that. Nothing inside here. Pull that off, nothing in there. All right, now for this part, there's a 10 mil right here behind this, kind of out of frame, and then one down a little bit lower underneath this. I'm going to unplug these and then remove those two 10 millimeter bolts, and then this should just kind of rotate up out. And just to make this easier, I'm going to remove this 10 millimeter bolt right here to remove this ballast. And there's that. So now, as you can see, we have all this real estate here to work with. There's a 10 millimeter right here on the dipstick tube. Let me get you a better view of that. 10 millimeter here on the dipstick tube. And then there is a 10 millimeter, actually I think it might be an 11 millimeter down here on this one bracket. And then I think, yeah, there's one in the back as well. What I found works really well for these is a ratcheting wrench if you have one with a swivel end on it. It's kind of hard to get a ratchet in there. And then also the idle air control valve, I think that's what this is right here. You push this off of this little mount that it's on the intake manifold itself. So now that kind of free floats around. In my case, these are 10 millimeter nuts that are underneath there. The back one might be an 11 mil on mine. It most certainly is. And there's that. It's a bit of a pain to get to that one because it's just kind of way tucked underneath. It used to be way worse when this was an SMG car and the SMG pump sat in here. I remember trying to get it out and thought it was like the most ridiculous job ever trying to take this intake manifold out, but it's way easier without the SMG pump in there. Also, right behind the dipstick here, there is this, the tube that you can see right there with the white right there. You have to remove that. It's just a pinch on each side and you pull down. And then also further in the back of the intake manifold underneath, there's this little tiny like hose that comes out of the bottom. You can kind of just pull it out by hand. But we'll worry about that more once we're ready to take the intake manifold out of the car. All right, for the next part, you're gonna want to come up here to this wiring bundle that goes across. And in this case, mine seems to already kind of have slipped off. Probably me forgetting to put it back on. But it slides off of the two clips attached to this part below the windshield. You just slide that off, kind of leave it here, kind of like that. And then take these 3 half-turn fasteners here and half-turn them. They'll pop up. You can pull this out. This is also how you would change your cabin air filter. So pull that out, inspect it, make sure it's good. It looks like it's dirty, but it's supposed to look like that because it's the charcoal filter. This one's a little bit dirty underneath, but nothing crazy. I'll probably just blow it out with an air hose because I didn't replace it that long ago. So now there's 4 Torx screws along the back of this bezel. I believe they are T30. They are in fact T30. Tell you, this long reach kills your back after like 2 minutes. Knees bent backwards. Oh, BMWs are so hard to work on. They take so much effort to do everything. Show me a Honda that you can take this much stuff apart this easily. After 20 years. So you can probably see, maybe not, there's a bunch of leaves back here from whatever tracked them in. So that's basically why I'm doing this. I'm just trying to clean all this stuff out. Anything that they brought in, I don't want it in here because I keep my engine bay very clean. So next, we're pretty much almost to the point where we can start pulling on the intake manifold to get this girl out, which it is very difficult to get out. It's stuck on really well on all the 6 boots that go to the throttle bodies. In my case, I've replaced this factory clamps with these specific hose clamps. If I can find the listing for them, I'll put them in the description. But I think you can get kits on ECS Tuning or any of those places that come with the boots and new clamps. So you can do it however you'd like to do it, whether it's with the crimp style from the factory or hose clamps like in this style. So I'm gonna go ahead and start unscrewing all 6 of these hose clamps, just loosening them, and then I'll start wiggling the entire unit around. I've spent hundreds of dollars on flathead screwdrivers and screwdrivers in general, but I can never find them. So I'm using this ancient old flathead screwdriver that I don't even know where I got it because I can't find any of my nice sets of screwdrivers that I bought. And you have to be careful with how you place some of them because when I first did the SMG swap on this car, I went to drive it and it kept going into limp mode. And what was happening was I had positioned one of these hose clamps where the throttle actuator right here was hitting it, and it was throwing a code thinking that it had something wrong with the throttle actuator. When in reality, I probably could have drove the car to the shop and just, if I just moved that hose clamp. So that was something that was kind of annoying setback. So we just gotta disconnect this one I talked about earlier. I found like hose pliers work really well for pinching those connector types that you have to pinch and take off. Because it gives you like 2 little points of contact, like little fingers. As long as you're not too aggressive with it. And there we are. I'm just gonna reach underneath in the back to see if I can pull out that little tiny oil line, but I don't think I'll be able to. In that case, we'll just lift it up out and it should unclip itself. It's very like loosely fitted. There we go. So you are able to reach it. It's not actually that hard to get to. Oh, and I forgot about this vacuum line right here. So now basically you just kind of wiggle this thing until it finally pops free. It is pretty tight, so you might need to like really start yanking on it. So I'm gonna move the camera a little bit so I can get a better grip on it. Oh, almost forgot. There is a PCV connector right here too on the top. Do not forget that. There we go. We have movement. You just gotta be persistent. And there she is. That is the intake manifold. As you can see, a couple of the boots stuck on the throttle bodies, which no big deal. We can always fix that by taking them off and just popping them back on here. Oh, the glory. The glory. The cinema. It's so beautiful except for all these leaves and shit they got in here. What I'll probably do now is take either a shop vac or I might take compressed air, put cloths in here so that nothing gets in there. and then just vacuum and take all this stuff out. Also, while I'm in here, I might as well clean my throttle bodies. They look a little bit crusty, so now is the chance. This is also a good opportunity that you could inspect a bunch of parts that are covered up by the intake manifold. The actuator for the throttle bodies is right there. Starters back there. You know, just a bunch of coolant lines and stuff that you can't ever see or get to. And in my case, actually, the oil filter housing oil filter housing gasket is leaking. So I'm probably gonna be taking, I've done it before, but I don't know, it's problematic. And I did it with the intake on and it was way harder. So I'm probably gonna pop all this off relatively soon here. Maybe I'll do a video on that as well. But yeah, I'm just gonna pop all this off, replace that gasket again while I have everything apart, and hopefully solve all this wet that I'm seeing down in here. Hopefully we can take care of that. I just replaced the power steering reservoir, brand new lines all the way up, brand new, well, not brand new steering rack, but a used new steering rack. All the gaskets, lines, everything is brand new, so that's nice. Yeah, brand new clutch line down there. Pretty open once you get that intake out of the way. All right, so I think for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna call it there. And then if you wanna see more videos on things to do in this engine bay, I know there's not a whole lot of content online for them. There is some, but not too much. So if you wanna see more, please comment down below what you'd like to see. And like I said, I'm probably gonna do a video on the oil filter housing gasket, because it's something I think most people could tackle themselves, especially once the intake is out of the way. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe if you want to see more videos from this guy right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.